Yes, up, up and running, up and gunning. Sticky, stucky, sweet TV. Keep Gorgan. Cassava, passava. Anyway, I'm going to sit back and because election night tonight, we know what gonna go on still, but, something I predict from a longer time. So, we just kick back and I watch what go on. On the election night. And it's kind of interesting, but, sometimes you have to sit back and see what go on, not just watch what go on. So, I just see what go on because it look like somebody are getting murdered. And as someone like to see when the election call at Jamaica, someone have to see it like this. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Anytime Jamaica election call, someone want to see it like this. And so the X6 poll gonna really say something, so you have no problem. The Victoria go down, Labour Party gonna go down the same way. I remember, Labour Party is equivalent to the PNP party at Jamaica. So history might repeat itself because, that means Labour Party are going to sweep right. PNP party are going to do the same thing. Sorry, they're going to work in that fucking way. And I hope so. Yeah. Down 25.1%.
in central, inner and outer London has been quite remarkable. Conversations that you might remember from the 90s and noughties are people are listening to us and people are voting for us. And I think it's going to be very right, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is in some ways, isn't it? You know, just to be in this position, we've not been here for a long time. Do you think that effect is going on in London because people dislike the rhetoric of recent times, the division, some of the hate? You know, is London sort of, if you like, sort of taking a decisive stand against all of that? Feels like it would be.
I tell you what's interesting is, you know, and Trevor and Becca recognise this as well. In 2015, 2017, 2019, people weren't unhappy with the Conservatives, but not enough to give us their vote. I think what Keir Starmer's done over the last 4.5 years is transformed our party so people feel comfortable giving us their vote now. But also I think, you know, Becky's spot on. What we've done in this campaign is actually not work those seats that are already Labour. Our ground campaign in Labour seats has been basically absent because we've been working in those seats. We've got to win to form a government. And when you hear figures of 410 Labour MPs potentially, a majority of 170, I think Keir Starmer's been vindicated for that campaign. But you're right, Andy, people are angry with this government. A lot of those people have voted for Labour in London, but I think as a country, some may have voted Reform. And I think our task over the next 5 years, Keir Starmer's task, the Labour Party's task, the government's task, is also to enable those people who currently vote Reform to give them the confidence to vote Labour in 4 or 5 years' time.
How do you solve a problem like Reform if you're Keir Starmer and indeed whoever might be the next leader of the Conservative Party?
Well, what you'll see Keir do tomorrow outside number 10 Downing Street is speak to the nation, all the nation, not just those that voted Labour, but those that didn't vote Labour as well. He's going to try and heal our country and bring our country together. We have 14 years of communities, of generations, of people being pitted against one another, Remain, Brexit, North, South, old, young. What Keir will do is bring us all together because, frankly speaking, we've got to come together now because our country deserves more. You'll see a Prime Minister under-promising and over-delivering. I think it's really important.
And I'll just ask you a question. Can I just say that we're waiting for Ed Davis to declare momentarily and Liam Atherton as well?
Yeah, it's Ruth Davidson, so good to speak to you again. You and Andy have quite a bit in common, not just your mayoralty positions now, but that you were both in government, and then when the party went into opposition, when Jeremy Corbyn became leader, I know you supported him in that, Andy didn't, so you ran himself. He chose to leave Parliament, he chose to not be MPs while the party was in opposition. Now that it looks like you're on the cusp of government again, is it something you would wish to return to?
Actually, I voted for Andy in 2015 to be the Labour Party. But I'm quite clear. I think if the 19th century was a century of empire, 20th century a century of nations, the 21st century is about cities and mayors. And Andy and I both met Keir Starmer on a number of occasions over the last few months. Keir Starmer, Rachel Reeves, Angela Rayner, the Shadow Cabinet, all committed to devolving more powers and resources to cities and regions across the country. That includes London, includes Greater Manchester, includes Merseyside and elsewhere.
I've watched you speak, I've stood beside you while you've been speaking enough to know when you go into full politician mode, and when you get the hands out, that's full politician mode. And you didn't answer the question, which wasn't, do you like your job now? I get that you like your job now. The question was, would you go back into Parliament for a different job? Now you're back in government.
No, not at all. I'm not invested in politics. No, we'll never go back. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited, and that's one reason my hands move, is because we've won a massive victory tonight, a majority of 170, and I can't wait to work with this great Prime Minister in waiting.
I think that's the change in politics, though. You know, people have talked about Westminster as though it's the only thing that matters, the only show in town. They can't believe that someone like Sadiq or myself doesn't want to just scurry back there as quick as we can. And when we say, no, we're actually loving these roles, we actually do things, and it's in the real world. I mean, I just think it's like the Westminster set sometimes can't get its head round why these jobs are so much.
I get it, which is why I asked it, because I've never been an MP, I've never sat in House of Commons, I've always sat in a devolved administration. And people say, don't you want to? Did you never want to be Prime Minister? You don't want to go back in, you want to go in front line. And the answer is actually no, because politics happens all over the United Kingdom. It doesn't just happen on the green benches.
I think we both feel though that we're going to have an era of really big profile on civil Sadiq, that's what we both won't come without it. Can I ask them? So, Sadiq,
You can. Let me just tell people what they're looking at. Lee, which is Lee in Atherton, the seat that you used to have, waiting for that declaration. South West London, Ed Davies seat as well. Let me tell you that Labour has gained Blackpool, so you'll say, but it was already a Labour seat after that scandal with Scott Benton. Thank you very much indeed. There was a by-election, but for the purposes of saying who had the seat, we go back to 2019, the by-election. Subsequent to that, so we are saying Blackpool side has won that seat, waiting for Lee, waiting for Ed Davies. And Vale of Glamorgan as well, first seat in Wales, waiting for that one to come through in just a second or two. You say,
no, I think Trevor was trying to come in.
oh sorry, I'm so sorry.
No,
Trevor.
I know you want to shut me up. But anyway,
That's what happens when you try and say it's your programme.
Burnley is going to punish me all night. Momentary lapse of judgment.
Yes,
I mean,
I
we've
have,
all
because
been there.
here's Lee. Here we go, here's Lee.
I never got that's not it.
Is it not?
Sorry, here's the declaration.
Is it not Lee?
That's Vale of Glamorgan.
That's Vale of Glamorgan, I'm told.
This is the
Oh, this is
declaration of
This is
results of
Lee.
the poll for the election parliament for Lee and Atherton on Thursday, the 4th of July, 2024. I, James Winterbottom, being the Deputy Returning Officer at the above election, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Buckley Craig Allen, the English Democrats, putting England first, 376. Jones Amelia, the Green Party, 1,653. Platt Joanne Marie, commonly known as Joe Platt, Labour and Cooperative Party, 19,971.
No!
Thomas Stuart David, Liberal Democrat.
Well, Labour murder them tonight, boy. No, sir.
Michael Williams,
I predict this long time anyway.
2,480.
2 years ago, from 2 years ago, me predict this. Yeah.
Fantastic, honestly. It makes me feel whole again that Lee has gone like honestly, it feels so good.
You
And
have to
Joe
be
is,
Karen and Trish, she worked for you.
she did, and yeah, I got great affection for Jo. She's been, I say, brilliant to me, but she's worked hard, and there she is. She gets her reward. That is just a
That
great
reform
result.
vote again.
Yeah, yes, I would have expected that. And as everyone has said, and I would say, I understand why people feel disillusioned. I understand why they kind of voted in the way that they have. And as I think Sadiq was saying, there's a job to be done to bring people back, and we need to work on that. But that is a really good result. The Tories won this seat by a couple of thousand last time. Almost 20,000 Labour votes there. Joe Platt deserves every single
Do you want to
one.
listen to her?
Thank you to the people of Lee, and let's hear from Joe.
Returning officer, electoral services, council staff and the police for their hard work in ensuring today's smooth operation. And I also extend my gratitude to the people of Lee, Atherton, Tilsley, Goulburn, Loughton and Astley. After 14 years of Conservative failure, you've demanded change. We ran this election as a changed Labour Party. Thank you for putting your trust in us to change the country. This is a vote for a Labour Party that is focused on the priorities of working people. We will fight for economic security, cheaper bills, safer streets, the NHS back on its feet, secure borders and better opportunities for our children. I do want to acknowledge James, the outgoing MP. Though our politics differ, he always held these towns close to his heart. Thank you for your service and for representing this great constituency. Losing this seat in 2019 was deeply painful, not just for me personally, but for those who desperately need a Labour government. It was a moment of reflection and realisation for us all. Over the last 4 years, under this Conservative government, things have got worse. The Labour Party has listened, learned from past mistakes and developed policies that speak directly to our towns. The people of this constituency deserve a government that has their back, supports their aspirations and enables grassroots regeneration. Labour is ready.
Yeah, she
to
lose
be
her
that
seat
government,
2019. She come back and win it back again. She never give up, and that's good.
We are
You know what I
committed
mean?
to working with you, hand in hand.
Yeah, she lose it on a Boris Johnson.
That is so desperately needed.
And she come back and win it again. You know what I
I
mean?
want to thank my family,
Mm.
my mum, my dad, my sisters, and especially my long-suffering partner, Ian, who can't be with us here today. But Ian, this is for you. Also a heartfelt thanks to my...
This is not for Ian, man. This is for you. You talk about this is for Ian. Come on
Another
now.
thanks goes to the Labour Party team.
This is for
Claire,
Ian.
my agent,
This is for you.
keeping me organised, to Paul and
You lose
Sam for managing the
2019, you come
campaign,
back,
and to the Lee and
you know,
Ashton constituency
on a
Labour
5 years
Party.
time and come back
Thank
and
you
win
for
the seat.
leading
So this is
an
for you,
ambitious
not for
and
fucking your
positive
partner.
campaign. Your efforts are the foundation of this success, and it belongs to each and every
Okay,
one.
so one or two things to update you on. Conservatives have held Roxburn. Should have come in around about midday. Midnight. Reform are less of a factor there, which means the betting market thought that the Conservatives would hold on. Never bet against a bookie, is what my dad always used to say, and it looks as though that has proven to be the case. Thank you very much indeed. Vale of Glamorgan, former Wales secretary, that has become a Labour gain. Vale of Glamorgan, first result in from Wales, is a Labour gain. And Colchester, now many of you will, or some of you will know, Colchester was James Patnell, the Olympic rower.
And what did he say? What did he call the Conservative
I'm sure it's
campaign?
a swear word. You can't repeat it.
Yes, it should.
I can tell the podcast, but not in swearing on television.
I checked the word and it was fine, what she said, but some of the other words we can't. Yeah, I did check.
Snitches get stitches.
Not dominant. Yeah, but Colchester.
First time I'd ever heard a candidate
Yeah,
refer to the party's campaign as a shower of
Yeah, quick last word from the London Mayor. You want to ask him something?
Yeah, if Senate is still there, he'll remember. Yeah, Senate, you remember way back in 1998 when there was a referendum to establish the mayoralty. Those who were in favour of it basically wanted the mayoralty to have control of a lot of things, education, health, as well as transport. Now, the problem was that the then Labour government didn't trust Ken Livingstone to run that. But are you now thinking that with the new Labour government, that the next step is for you to take over other sectors, including, for example, some aspect of health?
Yeah, I think some of the things that I think Andy, Steve Rodwell, Tracy Bragan, other mayors across the country.
I'm so sorry to interrupt you. Hartlepool declaration. I'm so sorry, Mr. Mayor. Okay, so this is the Hartlepool declaration coming out. Oh, great news there with Alan Turley. She's regained red card. Prime Minister Boris Johnson saying that red car became blue car. I think you'll find it's gone back to red car. Here we go.
Number of votes for Gorgan for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Jonathan James Frederick Brush, Labour Party, 16,414, duly elected. Thomas William Goodwin, commonly known as Tommy Goodwin, Workers' Party official, 248. Samantha Jane Lynn, commonly known as Sam Lynn, Independent, 895. Peter James Moore, Liberal Democrats, 572. Gillian Wendy Norton,
So that is Lee Anderson. Lee Anderson's one. Lee Anderson has gained Ashfield from the very conservative. You're both looking at me in stunned silence.
No, I don't want her listening to the house.
Yeah.
I thought we weren't supposed to be talking,
Yeah,
sorry.
Reform has gained Aston. In other words,
That's
Lee
their first game, isn't it?
Anderson.
Yeah, there's been a couple that have come in, because there's a lot of seats that are all coming in now, as people are looking to tick on
Yes.
seats. Two of the ones I wanted to pick out were the two Barnsley
And
seats,
he's about
Barnsley
to
North
speak. Let's
and
listen.
South.
Let's listen.
Massive thank you to all the staff who took this night out there, working incredibly hard and all the people who worked throughout this election campaign. Special thanks to Ashfield District Council. But the biggest thanks of the night goes to my wonderful team over there who have stood by my side and what we've been grumpy over the past 6 weeks. They've been fantastic and I could not have done it without them. I stood in this town, my hometown, 4.5 years ago, as a Conservative candidate and won. And I won comfortably, and the people of Ashfield backed me, and they've now backed me again as the reform candidate for Ashfield. I said a few weeks back that there was going to be a referendum on election night, and Ashfield, which is the capital of common sense, they're part of that referendum. Now, this wonderful place which I call my home, which will have a massive say in how this country is shaped in the future. I want my country back, and Ashfield can play their part in that. Thank you.
Then the first time Reform have ever been able to say that they will have an MP in the House of Commons. Many thought that it was going to be that man, Nigel Farage, but no, it's Lee Anderson. You're shocked.
I'm not so shocked.
The shock to us,
Club.
Claire.
Wasn't it earlier that it wasn't going to
Yes.
going to happen.
This is a shock.
I mean, it reflects what we've been seeing, doesn't it? In the
It's a blood climb, I'm gonna come boy. That's it, why people not eat them. But I tell you, you know, it's like these are the racists. There are some really racist people in England still, you know.
A lot of support.
So those follow the line there, you know.
Were promised that they would be levelled up. And as I say, I think
I don't know,
it's a sort of
but this is a
vote that
shocker.
is sort of coming through as a reform vote, which I think reflects that.
This is a shocker.
I think as well, this is symbolically, this is a big moment, right?
Yeah.
Because for the Conservatives, they can see reform coming in second.
Yeah, well, as conservative get rascal, burn.
From the Conservatives to reform, he was a deputy party chair put in by Rishi Sunak. People, when he defected, thought, yeah, you'll go to reform, but you will lose that seat in a general election.
Oh, because I'm still well up on him seat, on it.
With a big vote,
Have you heard
absolutely
it from,
eclipse him. And he said there will be, he said it just then, there will be, this election will be a
But
record,
you heard
and
it
that's
from
what he
Angela
said.
Ledson before, and I asked her about this. She acknowledged that they should have taken them on more. For instance, if the Conservatives in Parliament had taken on reform over its position on the NHS, I think people would have understood reform's position on the NHS. Currently, I don't think they do. And that is their failure. And this is...
Before that, the idea that Lee Anderson was made a deputy chairman of the Tory party means being a right old pain in the backside.
And that's why he's
To
only
people
deputy
that
chairman.
exactly, it's the appeasement doesn't work. You know, you've got to challenge them.
Well,
You've actually got to take them on and fight them on the issues and see what they actually have to do. And having a parliamentary group might actually expose what they believe, what their party positions are, and some of the things that people care about. Because at the moment, we don't know. We're a blank sheet of paper to anybody.
This is a sick of
Okay, let's bring in Charles Walker and Anne-Marie Trevelyan, should we? Hello to you both. Interested to see your immediate reaction to reform gaining its first ever seat in the mother of all parliaments. Anne-Marie, to you first of all.
So yes, interesting to see that Lee has indeed won that seat. Obviously, worked hard, charismatic, and a very front man for reform. Up here in the northeast, what we're seeing is reform, as you said, coming second. It's a very loud voice for reform. It's in Labour facing and now winning seats here, they're taking Labour vote. What that reform message up here on the northeast doorstep is about illegal migration. It's sorting it out. My worry for them, to your point about what they stand for and what will we hear from them in Parliament, is that they have taken away the one party that was actually delivering what they wanted, which was the Conservatives. So I think it's going to be a challenge for them to persuade Labour to do something other than stop their round of flights and allow greater illegal migration. So it's going to be an interesting challenge. Councillor Walker?
I'd just like to point out, because you were looking at the exit poll, that Broxbourne, my former constituency, has just been held with a majority of 3,500. The exit poll had Labour taking Broxbourne when it came out at 10 o'clock. So I'm really interested in the work we're doing on the exit polls. It doesn't seem to be as accurate as it has been in previous general elections.
Well, let me just say, if I may please, Charles Walker, that the Conservative vote was down 27 points in Broxbourne and the Reform vote was up 20 points, and they hadn't stood there previously.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is that the exit poll that you've been focusing on and saying the Tories are doing a bit better than the exit poll suggested had Broxbourne going Labour, and Broxbourne's been held by about 3,500 votes.
I think on the exit poll and just the way the seats fall, we are seeing some individual results that aren't reflected in that. So in the time that we've been talking, in the last half an hour, we've had both the Barnsley seats come in that were down to the Reform in that poll. They were supposed to be part of the 13. One of them's been held by Labour by 8,000 votes, and one of them's been held by Labour by 5,000 votes. Now that would indicate what Beth was saying earlier about the campaign to make sure that the votes get piled up by Labour in the right places where they're under pressure. So we might be seeing that while the vote share is right,
Keir
from the
Starmer
exit,
being applauded as he arrives at his seat.
The seats
Gorgan,
don't necessarily
and he said,
go right.
"Thank us for that vote, please." Carry on, sorry. We just wanted to
No,
get
I
this
was just saying that while we've had, it's been showing us great graphics of how close to the mark the overall picture is, what everybody that's been involved in politics knows is that the national pictures don't always relate to individual seats, and so that's 2 of the 13 that Reform are due to get tonight by the exit poll, but they've lost one by 8,000, one by 5,000, and that's a pretty big whack.
Anne-Marie Trevelyan, I mean, when you saw this exit poll, your heart must have sunk, eh?
So I think it reflects what will definitely be a tough night.
Hard work, you put in the hard work, you get the result. That's all it is, you know. Yeah, man. Put in the work, you get the result, people. Steer Starmer put in the work, you know. And him holding to it and hold on to it and buffle and things like that. And he come out tight on top. And as me say, people, because me really want to see the repeat of this election in Jamaica when election run next year. Coming up soon. Because Andrew Wallace can call it any time, you know. Just like Richie Sunak. Because them get confused, yeah. Because them wait longer, it get worse. Huh? So them go that try cut and run.
Would you say, Anne-Marie Trevelyan? I remember chatting to you.
But you know, it's gonna be a serious election. Because you up now.
Would be losing.
And we keep on saying that, you know, the time for changes, you know.
And I said, I'm going on holiday for a
Because the Labour Party of England is equivalent to the PMP party in Jamaica. Them the same type of people with the same type of policy. And the Labour Party in Jamaica is the equivalent to the Conservative Party of England. Those parties, they just deal with the rich. They don't give a fuck about the poor. So the same thing. So people might hear say, well, the Labour Party of England, them checks are the same. Like they're not equivalent to the Labour Party of Jamaica. No. Opposite. It's just the other way around. So people know that now. So well then look, this Labour Party now who winning this election by a landslide is the same equivalent party to the PMP party in Jamaica, we're in opposition now. And this Labour Party was in opposition for 14 years. Yeah, 14 years. And now they win by a landslide. So, you know, history, I think, repeating itself. And I think the same thing going to happen at Jamaica. Come the election. Because Andrew Wallace Labour Party can see him on the cashier, you know. From other day, I look at Andrew Wallace, he don't look like a happy man like before, you know. No, sir. He look sour in every way. Look sour, sad. So, you know, he don't look like the Andrew Wallace where we know. Him under pressure and him can't see it. And the poor lad got away as well. And him can smell the rat. So I hope the Jamaican election gonna be like this one. Yeah. And I think it's gonna happen because there's a time come for a change. Need a change, man.
I agree with Rishi Sunak about that this has been a massive miscalculation. Are you angry with Rishi Sunak because of what's happened to many of your colleagues because of the decision?
I'm not angry with Rishi Sunak.
Liar, tell man. Them people that you have lied all about, you know, about him not angry. Of course you're angry, but you're not gonna say you're angry. This is what them do, you know. Them always cover up, you know. They always cover up people. But you're not angry. Of course you're angry. Everybody angry and everybody knows everybody angry. People leak out, not publicly, but them their own and them.
And by the way, if we'd had the
Yo.
general election in November, we still wouldn't have won it. Labour would still have won that general election, but I think we would have had a better result.
Okay, we must leave it there. Thank you both very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They just come out and tell people lie now, man. A spin team. You like only too much of spin doctors, man. Spin doctors.
Waiting for declaration in Basildon and Billericay. That was recounts are waiting.
Only just a spin doctor. That's all I know is.
Austin, who is at the count in Holborn St. Pancras, I should say, otherwise known as North London. There he is. We heard the applause as he came in, Mark. Hi.
Yep, Keir Starmer is in the House or in the Camden Council offices where we are, and he looks very happy. Understandably, it's an enormous night for him, and
well, not enormous, a great night. Great.
Responsibility that he now will have to take over. But for the moment, he's worried about his own seat here. Not really worried about it. He's defending, I think, 27,000. He got 64% of the vote last time. So that's another reason for the smile you see there. And his wife, Victoria, there with him, with Labour members, all very happy. And he'll be speaking very shortly. A point worth making here is that he's pulled off this extraordinary recovery for the party, as you've been saying in the studio.
Yeah, man, the fight hard, man.
In 2019,
you hold him ground, you know.
Labour won just 200.
All the battering him get.
The worst result.
And take it and hold him ground.
35 elections. So in 5 years, he has turned the party round, and how. But it's not going to be an easy job. Tamara Cohen is with me, and there will be those who say that this is more an anti-Tory vote than it is a pro-Keir Starmer, pro-Labour vote.
They will, but that is very much pushed back on by Labour and by the team around Keir Starmer, who we now are almost certain will be our Prime Minister in the morning. He's just arrived here with his wife Victoria, both of them very much looking on a high, and we will be hearing from him here in the next little while. First reaction as these results come in, showing really big swings to Labour, and of course for a really stunning result, their first majority from opposition in 27 years. He's pulled it off, and even 3 years ago, we know he contemplated quitting. They lost a by-election in Hartlepool. All looked so bleak, even 2 years into his leadership. But now, having transformed the party, and I think he will be making that point specifically here to say that he transformed the party. It's not accidental. It wasn't just the Conservatives did a bad job. I think his allies are very keen to stress his role in turning things around, and many people thought that would be the
yeah, man, he fight. He do a lot of fighting, you know, believe you me. He do a lot of fighting.
George Galloway.
The election of a Member of Parliament for Rochdale on Thursday, 4th July 2024. I,
Stephen Blow, being the acting returning officer at the Good Election, who hereby has noticed that the number of votes reported for each candidate at this election is as follows. Paul Simon Ellison, the Conservative Party, 4,273. George Galloway, Workers' Party, 11,508.
I get away a rascal, mash up the Tory. All George Galloway, I mash up the Tory.
11,000.
What a shame.
Let's see.
Them really get a hammering.
Michael David Howard, Reform UK, 6,773.
All Reform Party get, why, Tory really get a slamming.
Martin David Savin, Green Party, 1,212. Paul War, Labour Democratic Party, 13,020.
Ursula Labour gone clear again.
So George Galloway defeated and felt that he didn't need to, as a result, go onto the podium to hear the count.
Galloway get
I'm not
defeated.
offended by it. I think it's true to form. I mean, we've seen George Galloway move around the country. He is very good at exploiting a single issue, starting a new party with a new name. We've seen him winning by-elections. We've also seen him not then continue to take the seat in the next following general election. I think what's really interesting about this seat is this was where a lot of the conversation about how would the Muslim vote affect Labour came from this by-election. It was, earlier in the year. We then saw that play out in some of the local elections in May, and particularly around the mayoral elections. So we heard your reporter in Birmingham talk about that. And if you look at the boxes that came out of Birmingham Yardley, Jess Phillips' seat, she would have lost that on that vote as it was projected. So there was a huge concern within Labour about what that would do, and they moved very quickly to shore up the seat. The fact that this has gone back to Labour, the fact that it's Paul Waugh, who is a candidate who's from Rotherham, but had come to Westminster, part of when he stood to be the by-election candidate, didn't win this election, was that he was a kind of, he'd gone London, he'd gone a bit London, and he was coming back, and then the Labour candidate had said some things and wasn't allowed to, had their support withdrawn. He then became the candidate for the general. This is an urbane former journalist, not somebody that's taken a particularly strong view on Gaza. So the fact that he's won it and taken it back off of Galloway, I think is quite significant, and will ease a lot of fears within Labour for some of the other seats.
Swinney is in Perth, so
So,
just have a look at the step. Just bear with me then.
Okay, sorry.
John Swinney just arriving in Perth.
Yes, that's a slightly redrawn seat. His seat sits in the Scottish parliamentary equivalent of this Perth and Ross seat that Pete Wishart is the was the sitting SNP MP for. He is the longest serving MP in Scotland. He's held his seat since I think it's maybe 92. He's been there a while. He had a strong challenger in Luke Graham, and with the boundary region that was looking quite good for the Conservatives. All the indications that I'm getting is that Pete Wishart has held on.
Okay, just Beth.
No, it's just on one of our pivotal seat moments. Wrexham has just been lost from the Conservatives. Labour have taken that. Now that was the point where Conservatives were going to lose the overall majority when Wrexham goes. So that was just one of our pivotal seats. And we also have it that the Lib Dems are saying they think that they have taken Henley. That was on their 33rd on their target list. I think Boris Johnson stood in Henley once, did he?
He most certainly did.
Yeah.
Back with us is Rochdale.
Back here, and a big result in Greater Manchester, Rochdale, which was lost at a by-election. Paul Waugh, known to many people down here, a brilliant journalist, a Rochdale lad. I've been with him in Rochdale. He's just well known there.
The fact that George Galloway was not on the stage to hear himself.
Well, he's come in and he threatened to challenge me at the mayoral election. He claimed he'd saved Rochdale Football Club. He claimed he'd opened a new maternity unit. He claimed Rochdale was neglected. If you go to the centre of Rochdale, the place is being rebuilt. I've just put a new public transport system in there. He didn't understand the place, and everyone, you know what we're like in our part of the world. You know what we're like.
Yeah, I do.
You can spot a chance a mile off, right? And I just think
Underestimate me, that'll be fun, as my dad always used to say.
Well, it was extraordinary circumstance, the by-election, wasn't it? Because Labour's candidate was on the ballot paper and then had to stand down. So it's a really good result because he was only seeking to bring division to our communities. And we don't work like that in Greater Manchester. We're a place that kind of thrives on the fact that we are quite unified and we work together, different communities. So I'm glad to see the back of them in Greater Manchester. I think our community will be relieved to see it gone. So well done, Paul. A great result.
Absolutely. We're hearing that there's a recount in Chelsea and Fulham. That's Greg and
Can I also just add another one in that's come in?
really
The
quickly.
Conservatives have held Castle Point.
They have.
It might not seem that significant, but that's another one where reform we're supposed to win. It's another one that was supposed to be part of that reform 13. So if that's 4 now that was in that list that they've not
But the vote
taken.
collapsed. The Tory
Oh, completely
vote
collapsed. I'm not saying this is a good night for the Conservatives. I think I used the word massacre at the start of the programme.
David's declaration, here we go. Let's see whether he comes in on a skateboard. I don't know what he's going to do.
The honourable member for Alton Towers.
I, Councillor Liz Green, being the returning officer, the Kingston and Surbiton constituency election held on the 4th of July 2024, do hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the election is as follows. Ali Abduzai Abdullah, Workers' Party, 395. Jason Chinnery, the official Malta Raving Looney Party, 230. Debashi Das, the Green Party, 3009. Edward Jonathan Davey, Liberal Democrats, 25,870. Helen Margaret Edward, the Conservative Party candidate, 8,635. Mark David Fox, Reform UK, 4,787. Eugene O'Dane, Labour Party, 6,561.
Okay.
Eunice, apologies, Eunice. Yvonne Tracy, Kingston Independent Residents Justice
We will be listening to the acceptance speech from Ed Davey in just a moment or two. Also stand by for the declaration for the would-be Deputy Prime Minister, and that is Angela Rayner. Waiting for that in just a moment or two. He looks happy, looks relaxed, looks relieved. He is being returned as the leader of the Liberal Dems, and 61 seats is the projection from the exit poll. There is the result. The turnout's pretty high as well.
I want to do a
First Labour game in Scotland.
What's that? The first
Yeah.
Labour game? Where's
Yeah.
that?
Kilmarnock.
Yeah, that's in that central belt that we expect to go almost wholesale SNP to Labour. I want to do a shout out though to local government in England. I always forget, 'cause in Scotland we don't do this, the number of jabos, hats and robes that you guys have. We don't have any of that.
Yeah, here we go.
Brilliant.
Thank you. It has been a great privilege to serve Kingston and Surbiton and this great community over many years. And I'm humbled that you've given me the chance to serve you again. So let me start by saying a big thank you. And thank you to Sarah and all the returning officer team and to all the staff and police who've worked so hard through the night. You are the unsung heroes of our democracy. It simply wouldn't work without you. And thank you to my fellow candidates for making this a campaign we can all be proud of. I wish you all well in the future. Now, I don't know if you could tell, but I've rather enjoyed this campaign. But what I've loved most hasn't been the paddleboarding or the bungee jumping. It's been speaking to people here in Kingston and Surbiton and across the United Kingdom about the challenges they face and their hopes for the future. People who are working hard, raising families, caring for loved ones, playing by the rules, but finding it harder and harder to make ends meet. People who've had to wait hours for an ambulance, weeks to see a GP, or months for urgent cancer treatment. People who are angry at the filthy sewage being pumped into their rivers, lakes, and onto their beaches. People who feel let down and taken for granted and are desperate for change. Many of them have turned to the Liberal Democrats, in some cases for the first time at this election, and we want to be your champions. We've listened to you, and we've heard you loud and clear. We put your concerns...
Let's listen to Angela Rayner.
And I give my sincere thanks to the returning officer and the team who worked so hard to give this result. And I give the same thanks to the police who have kept us safe and all the other public servants who make our democracy work. I would also like to thank the other candidates, because democracy only works when people put themselves forward for office. I want to also say a few words of thanks to my family, my friends, the whole Labour team, and all those that have supported me, especially my agent, Greg Cooney. You've been such a source of strength to me, not just over the last weeks, but throughout my political life. You stood by me, you've had my back, and now I hope to do you proud in a Labour government. Finally, most of all, I'd like to thank the people of Ashton-under-Lyne who have elected and re-elected me as your Member of Parliament these past 9 years. From the first day you placed your trust in me, it's been a great privilege to represent you in Parliament. I'm proud to have support right across our community, but I'll never take it for granted. So let me say to all those parents doing the most important job there is, raising the next generation, to the small businesses who tirelessly toil every day in the engine room of our economy, to the working people who are the bedrock of our country, there is no greater honour than to serve you. Throughout my life, I have faced challenges, but I've also seen the power that comes from our community. The people on Bridgehall Estate who have always known me as our aunt, the teachers who have had faith in me, the carers who I worked alongside, and the trade unionists I stood alongside. From all of them, I learned that by working together and never taking no for an answer, we can make change and make a difference. As they helped me when I needed it, I am now humbled to have the opportunity to make a difference for others. Because to represent this constituency is a privilege, but it is also a duty, one that I intend to fulfil. It is a vote for change. It is a vote to an end to division and to bring our country together, to replace self-service with public service, to take what is broken and begin to rebuild it, and to restore the belief to those who have had hope taken away. It is with a real sense of pride that together we have changed the Labour Party to offer that unity of purpose, that vision of renewal that our country so desperately needs. Today is our chance to turn the page and start a new chapter, to tackle the cost of living crisis and to make work pay, to give working people the new deal we deserve and to provide homes that we need, to rebuild the public services on which we rely and to ensure that every community across our country shares in our national success. I am proud of Ashton-under-Lyne. I am proud of Britain, a great country, a great people, and I am proud to serve you all. Thank you.
for your flash photography, right-hand side of the screen there, Nigel Farage arriving at his count. Worth mentioning that Angela Rayner, of course, was
But Nigel Farage, you don't even your seat. You have your mouth talk, man.
represent that seat in 180 years. You can see everybody keen to
Supposed
see
so
Nigel
we not
Farage.
fucking but you're a joker. You're a joker.
Talking at once there. Mary Claire, I should just say Coventry East. She has been re-elected, old friend of Angela Rayner. Steve Barclay used to be Health Secretary, deaf for now. He has been one of the rare victories for the Conservative Party, waiting for the declaration for Keir Starmer. That will, when we hear his speech, it will be his acceptance speech, but also potentially one or two things that we will hear from him about how he plans to run the next 5 years for this country. That coming up in Holborn and St Pancras. Before that, Gurpreet standing by for us in Clapton. Gurpreet.
Well, Nigel Farage has just made his way over here to the Clapton Leisure Centre. He spent the evening at the local Greek taverna as the exit polls dropped with his team. A few of them peeled over here early. I spoke to them. They were quietly confident that they were staying calm, but they were quietly planning some of the raucous scenes later if Nigel Farage, as the exit polls suggest, does win here. It won't be an easy feat. It will require overturning a 25,000 Conservative majority. But I've spent the past few weeks with him on the campaign trail here in Clapton, and there is a lot of love for him in Clapton. At the rally on Wednesday, he implored voters to come out and vote for him, and it looks like they may have delivered him a victory. He will no doubt be buoyed by that exit poll, which suggests that he could win here. This is a man, of course, that's attempted 7 times to become an MP. 7 times he's failed despite his outsized influence on British politics. When I asked him yesterday what success would look like, he said that this wasn't just about eating into the Conservatives' vote share, about doing them damage. It was about winning seats, about building a bridgehead in Parliament. And if that exit poll is anything to go by, it looks like that may be achieved. Lee Anderson in Ashfield has already won as the first Reform MP. The polls suggest there could be 13, crucially, not just winning from the Conservatives, but also gaining from Labour. However, I would caveat that some of the early results that have come in from Barnsley North, Barnsley South and Hartlepool, for example, suggest that it hasn't been smooth sailing for Reform UK. They may as yet underperform those polls. But another interesting aspect of this is the seats in which they're coming in second. As many as 155 seats they could come in second. I think almost all of the seats that have been declared in the North East, they've come in second, chiefly behind Labour. So for now, while a lot of the framing around this has been what kind of impact or influence Reform UK's potential success could have on the Tories during their period in opposition, what's clear is that there's another aspect to this, which is what kind of impact Reform success could have to Labour in government.
Okay, for now, thank you. There's a recount in Basildon, and that is where Richard Holden, who was parachuted in, the Conservative chairman, is. There's been a recount there. I can see pictures of Labour and the Conservatives. It's a three-way marginal, potentially. Lots of people. I can see the Labour candidate watching every vote as it's being recounted. Also here in about 20 minutes time, Beth, to declare Kimmy
Yeah.
Gordon's hot seat as well in about 10 minutes' time.
I'm told that it's now probable that that Jeremy Corbyn will hold Islington North. So it's edging towards that, yeah. Not certain, but
You got any more than
probable.
mild from you, Trevor?
No, it's an extraordinary thing.
It is.
It's quite an extraordinary thing. As I was saying to John McDonnell, there's a peculiar historic irony, because he took the seat in 1983 from a guy who had defected from the Labour Party to the SDP, and it's really striking now at the other end, I guess, of his parliamentary career. He's the guy who's been expelled from the Labour Party, but he's won.
Yeah.
It sounds like.
Looking at pictures there of Nigel Farage waiting for his count. He will not be, if he does win Clapton, the constituency, he will not be the first Reform MP in the House of Commons. That must sting a little bit, given how many times he's tried to become a Prime Minister. Ruth, of the two results in from Scotland, the average SNP to Labour swing is 20 points. Kilmarnock and Loudon and Dunbartonshire West. Possible the SNP will do even worse in the 10 seats that we can get.
Yeah, we did hear, I think I mentioned that around maybe 1 o'clock this morning, that from the people that had written the exit poll, the all the supporters behind it, that the numbers were a bit softer in Scotland and how it projected, because it was looking at Tory gains there. They had the SNP down a lot at 10, but it looks as if that might be on the optimistic level for them if this is played out. However, and I would caveat this a lot, Scotland is not a homogenous group, and you can't really just put a national swing across it. What happens in the Central Belt is very different to what happens in the North East, very different to the Highlands and Islands, and with that South of Scotland band as well, right at the bottom, there's 3 seats that sit across the
Ruth,
bottom.
on the face of it, though, this is a big story of the night,
Oh,
but
huge.
maybe we're not focusing on enough. This
Yeah.
is the collapse of the SNP, isn't it?
But if you think about when the exit poll came out, you suddenly had the third party of the United Kingdom. Now, they only stood in 59 seats, 57 now because of the boundary changes, but they got their question at Prime Minister's Questions every week. They had that platform, they had the short money.
Yeah,
They're going to go
strong.
down to the fifth party in the country.
Yeah.
All of that is gone, all that infrastructure is gone. The ability for them to come back is severely hampered. And we have seen big gains and drop swings in Scotland before, so we get kind of a bit immune to them. But some of the changes here, if they lose, as the exit polls say, 38 out of their 48 seats, that's enormous.
I mean,
it's almost as big as the 40 out of 41
One of
that
the-
Labour lost in 2010.
Actually, you reminded me of something that Andy was talking about kind of Anna Sawa, the Scottish Labour leader. It's true too that when you talk to people around Starmer, they said that when he became leader, and they had at that time 1 MP in Scotland, he said, "I want to govern for all of the nations," and was very.
Here's Keir Starmer's declaration.
All right, well, let's listen.
Great. Oh look, there's Cuddly Elmo on the stage. Did you see that? They're all there. McDonald's is being Chelmsford from the Conservatives, and Bolsover has gone for that.
Ah, good news for Dennis there, really pleased.
Dennis Skinner, of course.
I, Jenny Rowlands, be the acting returning officer at the election held in the Hogan and St Pancras constituency on the 4th of July 2024, do hereby give notice that the number of votes cast for each candidate in the election was as follows. Nick, the Incredible Flying Brick, the official Monster Raving Loony Party, 162. Charlie Clinton, Liberal Democrats, 2,236. Andrew Joseph Feinstein, 7,312. Wise Islam Independent, 636. Senthil Kumar Independent, 40. Marine Malik, the Conservative Party candidate, 2,776. John Edmund Poynton, UK Independence Party, 75. David Roberts, Reform UK, 2,371. Tom Scripps, Socialist Equality Party, 61. Bobby Elmo Smith, 19. David Robert Stanson, Green Party, 4,030. Keir Starmer, Labour Party, 18,884.
Confirmation for you that the new MP for Holborn and St Pancras is also likely to be the next Prime Minister, Keir Starmer. We'll be listening to what he has to say in just a moment or two. I can tell you that Harlow has been a Labour gain. Key Labour target in Essex and Bellwether since 1983 was Robert Halfing's the Education Select Committee was his old seat. He was standing down. And you can see 3 pages of people standing, waiting for their moment in the sun by standing with the would-be Prime Minister in Holborn and St
I
Pancras.
love the idea that we have, and I don't think it's same across all democracies in the world, that you've got incidents that happen, and the way our democracy works, you can have an elderly character standing on stage with the potentially future next Prime Minister and get 19 votes, and has exactly the same rights as everybody else to do so. And some of the vignettes that we had throughout through the campaign itself, there's a lovely ring doorbell that captured Theresa May up in Perfect Ross, just chapping his door saying, "You're not in."
The next Prime Minister.
It is a huge privilege to be re-elected to serve this constituency, the incredible community of Holborn and St Pancras. My home, where my kids have grown up, where my wife was born. And I have to thank Vic and my family more than anyone for their love and support and for keeping me totally grounded. Thank you again. And thank you so much to the police and the returning officer for making sure every voice is heard and every vote is counted. And thank you to Andy White.
So this is the new Prime Minister of Britain. Come tomorrow morning.
So hard.
Keir Starmer.
6 weeks and beyond.
Him stay night, him sticky night, him fight.
Every conversation had
Him couldn't give up.
makes a massive difference.
So him come, well, you can't give up in a life, you know. You have to fight and fight and fight. And that's what all happen, you know.
For public service. Because in this room, right here, beats the heart of our democracy. Not in Westminster or Whitehall, but in town halls and community centres up and down the country, in polling stations, in voting
Yes, people, this is the new Prime Minister elected.
in the hands of the people who hold the power of the vote. It all starts here. And it
We shall
starts
soon
with
not
you.
supposed to
Change
cry in
begins
crocodile
with this
tears.
community, with the people who came together to make life better, like the fantastic councillors who worked so hard for our area. Service starts in this neighbourhood. The groups, the faith communities, the local organisations who serve week in, week out. And hope starts with that one kid from Somerstown who dares to believe that the future belongs to her. And with Labour, it will. Because I promise this, whether you voted for me or not, I will serve every person in this constituency.
That's
The
right.
mothers I sat with,
Can't be like the Labour right in Jamaica and Holness,
the pensioners
where they
who
serve the
can't get
Labour part,
doctors
Labour right, them who vote for him. Don't care about the fucking
who struggled so
PMP people them. Just like his wife said, anybody who live in a Riverton,
fight your corner every single day.
you know, she disrespect the people them. So appear, well, basically what she said, well then,
Because tonight people here
appear PMP live and dump all them rascal thing. That woman they want nasty little face too, man, you know.
politics of performance, a return to
So you see,
politics as public
but anyway, for them,
service.
they are coming up
Change begins right here.
sooner than later.
This is your
Yeah,
democracy, your community, and your future.
because, you know, changes have to make. Not just Jamaica alone, not just England alone, not
Thank you
just
very much.
America alone. You know what I mean?
So let me tell you about Sir Keir Rodney Starmer. He's been an MP since
Yes, this is the
2016.
new
He's
Prime
hoping
Minister of
to go on
Britain
better,
people.
and it looks as though that is going to happen. He's been the leader since 2020. He's a leading
In
member
fight
of
him way, you
the
know?
Dim Shadow
In
cabinet.
fight him way
Mighty
to the
for
top.
services to law and criminal
And to be truthful, he put
justice.
up some good fight, you know what I mean?
He has two children, and his daughter has said if he wins, she just wants him to know she isn't moving into Downing Street. I think she might be.
She is
Yeah. He's named after Keir Hardie, first leader of the Labour Party. Presently 216,000 followers on Instagram. I'm just going to say that's probably going to go up a little bit as a result. Although it is worth bearing in mind, polls suggested that half of people don't think that he will be a good Prime Minister.
I think though what you got there is a hint of what he's going to say on the steps of Downing Street. You've heard it there. His whole campaign is about serving humbly, about putting politics back in the service of working people, about ending performative politics and having politics that is about public service. And that is what his whole rhetoric has been all through this campaign. And I think when you see him tomorrow on the steps of Downing Street, it will all be about this. Is it today? I don't know where I am anymore. But it will be all about, and also about uniting the country. Because to come quickly back to what I was talking to Andy about with Scotland, apparently when he became Labour leader, he said to his team, I cannot tolerate having one MP in Scotland. Like, I have to be a PM if I win that governs for the whole country. And so this whole aim to try and win big vote shares in all three nations, and they now think that they have achieved that they will be the biggest party in all three nations where they feel the candidates is really important for Starmer. But the other flip side of this coin is the vote share is looking like it is going to
Yes,
be
yes,
pretty
people.
low. We don't have
We just see the elected Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, in the picture now. Well, you know, him doing fight and him get him there, you know. Come here follow him from day one. And he's a real fighter, real good speaker in the house. Come up with the points and when him really and lace the Prime Minister, the opposite side all the while, or the next side, whatever you want to call it. So, you know, and then again, as I'm saying, Labour, you know, them say politics is politics, and but, you know, Labour Party always for the poor, or for the less fortunate. The party who just gone out of power now, conservative, is the same one like Jamaica, who them just look out for the poor, sorry, look out for the rich, and not the poor. And them always a chopping party as well, you know, them just all for themselves. That's all it is. They all for themselves. So as I'm saying, the Labour Party will just win now by a landslide. They are equivalent to the Jamaica PNP party. They are the same type of govern, okay? Or Michael Manley, you know, really fight for poor people and make things happen. The other party is for the you know, different type of thing. Them is for cut tax for the rich, pressure the poor, and well, when them cut tax for the rich and tax the poor. That's what we shouldn't say really. Yeah, that's what them do. They don't give a shit. Pressure the players, something what them people do. England what me say, me don't know. And you know, but them days come to an end right now. You know, long run, short catch. That's all me can say. Long run, short catch. And that's all it is. Long run, short catch people. So you see, them days come to an end. And the same thing gonna happen to the JLP at Jamaica, Jamaica Labour Party. Them is next in line, believe you me. And we can smell a rat. Yeah, man. And I hope we some enjoy this election. We should know it was gonna go this way, because from Richie Sunak come and get that job in the Conservative Party as the leader and the Prime Minister. I know I'm going to win this general election. We said that a long time, say There's no way I'm gonna win a general election. I get the job as coming as a prime minister, as a leader, and wait on this election when I'm called now. But me predict this, I'm gonna win it from day one. For one special reason. No other reason beside that reason. And through me know the system and know so I say it go. It's because he's an Indian and there's no way British people gonna vote for even one people around him. Even one people around him. And it play out, like a book. Not gonna rascal support him. So, me predicted from day one, predicted from day one. He could never win the British Premiership in England. Nah, man, would never. So my prediction was right. So this is not no surprise to me. The only surprise to me is for how large the Labour Party win. Whenever I look to see well, them go win as in a landslide and clean up. Them win big. That's how surprise me, but me know them want to win. Me I say, well then, because sometimes, check say, well then, all right, him is Indian, them not going to vote for him win, but at least him will have a reasonable vote, so Labour couldn't really say, well then, them can't have him, because if he win by a 8 seat majority, a big win that, but when you clean them out and 400 seat to 180 seat, a fucking win that, that's a landslide, whitewash, yeah, so I just say it go. So anyway, we're about what, 71 minutes now. So I wake up in the morning now, 3:10 our time, right? So it's kinda late now. So I kinda really do that and you know what I mean, me enjoy it, as me say. Enjoy it a lot to know. So decoration was good. Yeah man. Decoration was good. So I just say go. So what now? Big up on yourself people. And hope you enjoy it. People who watch this little thing here with me. Because election is my thing. I'm politics fanatics. And that's why you see I have to really show this with my little audience. So big up on yourself, have a nice evening wherever you may be. And our next first day coming up out.
I know enough to know that she's really worked